indeed the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Alright everybody, so look, I'm not exactly a shy person, but I've been treated like like you can't be mindful of your privacy or else you are, like, oh my gosh, you're like really genuinely some terrible human being. No, oh, is there more nuance to it than that? Well, at this point, not really, actually. That's kind of what I'm saying. So, part of what's frustrating for me, y'all. Do I think I'm the best looking person on earth? No. Do I think I'm the worst looking person on earth? No. Like a logician, I will point out that, to be honest, it never should have been relevant, first of all, how I look, but second of all, how I feel about how I look in any way, shape, or form. And to be honest with you, don't you like the design on this carpet? I do. It could maybe use a little bit of it's not really dirty. I've been vacuuming it. But it's really kind of a nice design. I really like a lot of the artwork in this home. I want to point out the only piece of artwork I'll show later tonight is there's a painting in my bedroom. It really is kind of weird. It's like, that has to, hang over, this entire room. But there's a lot of cool, knickknacks. And, for example, this man right here was my father's brother. His name was Brian. And my brother was named after him. And unfortunately, he passed away from a heart attack. But he drew this painting, and I think it's beautiful. Even though it's simple, right? But that's kind of one of the things that I like is, sometimes simplicity and elegance. It's kind of like this. This is one of my favorite pieces of artwork, the School of Athens. And, it kind of seems weird, y'all. Now, don't get me wrong, I got to clean this shelf. It's a little bit cluttered. But this fan, for example, I like the design. It reminds me of the 50s a little bit, maybe the 60s, They've got some retro designs too, but the only reason I have this, y'all, is because I need some airflow usually in my bedroom at night. I'm usually the person that's kind of warm, to be honest with you. And so it's a little bit warmer today. We'll be outside just a little bit. It is a beautiful day, even though it's a little bit warm. And people are going to be kind of weirded out by, for example, oh my gosh, I'm looking out the curtains now. Really, I mean, this is kind of what's so terrible about this, People have put my life, literally, my life and others at risk over and over and over again. And, honestly, a lot of it just has to do with, straight up politics. I'm not really a fan of politics. I've been, picking up this house, quite a bit, quite frankly. And I don't want to show off my grandmother's name or our name, That's what's so sad to me. Our name has been, kind of, how do I put it? Destroyed by this situation. I'm an innocent man and I'm not claiming it, and then I've been treated like I'm not. And to be honest with you, I really had faith when I came up here that my own family members, my own actual relatives, not all, but some of whom are my blood, I had faith that they would have faith, you know what I mean? I actually thought they would, and it turns out I was wrong. Unfortunately, they chose their politics. Now I'm going to talk about this meal in just a moment, y'all, because I'm so hungry. I'm actually so hungry. And it's not my fault that I am so hungry. That's what's so terrible. Actually, really, really terrible. I'm more than capable of earning a substantial income. If I need to say it that plainly, I'm more than capable of earning a substantial income. Now, for example, y'all, because of this whole situation, it's like, oh my gosh, I have a butter knife. I'm not a threatening person, okay? In any way, shape, or form. I never have been, nor will I ever be, in any way. Now, why did I point Voyager 1? Remember, this is a multi-stream. Let's cover that one more time, okay? So I know it's kind of interesting, y'all. First of all, I asked my grandmother, if she'd like me to take this down a while ago, and she was kind of like, I'll take it down in a bit, y'all. I know, it's like, wow, it's definitely past Christmas. Okay, but I did put it up also, I will say. Nobody else came up here to help with Christmas decorations, probably because they're all trying to talk shit about me. And I'm not trying to be mean, y'all. I know it might seem strange, right? I for $30, y'all, this is actually a really good deal in my opinion, all right? I am a fan of the Chromecast. I'm not some, Google fanboy, but the one thing I was saying about the Chromecast, y'all, when the first one came out, I was like, wow, $30, that's amazing. I said one thing, actually. I was like, I would change one thing. It's actually powerful enough there's one thing is that I have to, if I need to pause the TV, I'm searching for my phone, or if I'm texting, or I'm, for example, streaming, I can't really switch apps without ending the stream. So I was like, there's one single thing that would be useful for that Chromecast, a remote. And wow, they did a good job, y'all. The remote is simple, it's elegant. It works very well. I like that the navigational buttons are right up top. It doesn't have to be that way, but it feels, very comfortable in the hand. And, that's the thing is I'm just saying, it's like, it's easier to have it sitting on the coffee table in front of you whenever you need to just press pause. And, the honest to goodness truth, y'all, is really, okay, isn't that painting kind of weird, y'all? Okay, wait, let's look at that one. This is one of only, I think, 2 in this house. I'm like, wow, that's kind of like, I know it's artwork still, y'all. I'm not trying to be critical, and I'll stop saying y'all so much, I guess, now that I'm no longer in Texas, everyone. But yeah, I mean, look, okay, really, I mean it when I say, how do I put this best? I didn't really want to purchase this. But this is the thing, I had to wait some time before I could get started on this testimony. There's a couple things I needed. I needed more information. I needed a secure cell phone, which is supposed to be this one. And wow, I'll be talking about that much, much, much more today. And in the meantime, one day at work, I was like, well, I saw the Google TV. I was like, I'm just curious. I'll go check it out at the store. I wasn't actually, necessarily going to buy it, but I was like, well, if it's $30 is actually what I said. I went over there and it was on sale for $30. I was like, okay, it's $30. All right. And seriously, it's like for $30, I mean, wow, I was impressed that you could play Apple TV on this, which I only did a free trial to, at least intending, right? With this phone, right? And that's the thing, all this narrative about money. Now, this is, to some people, this might look like a fancy house. I'll be honest, y'all. Here's what I want to explain about that. It's a humble home that my grandfather built for he and my grandmother, honestly, to live out the rest of their lives in. And I'm not up here for anybody's money. Let me emphasize that, yo. I don't want anything. In fact, I'm openly saying I want to be written out of the will at this point. I'm not kidding. I want to be written out of the will at this point. And why is that? Because, well, my family has turned on me and they knew better. They all knew better. They all knew that, I'm a good person, and they've sat around playing politics. And what bothers me, y'all, about this home, and not about this home, let me emphasize. There's more than a few things about the situation that bother me. I'm frustrated for, several reasons. First and foremost, and most urgently, I really mean it, is that, well, every single moment we remain focused on me means pushing the real violent criminals back out into the community of Texas and beyond. So before I started my testimony, really started my testimony, what needed to happen? I really did. I needed to, and see, this is one of the only things I would have to, I'm kind of architecting some of this, engineering, this multi-stream concept as I go. Remember, we're staring at, okay, well, I guess that's the thing. I just asked a question and then I didn't finish, but I'm distracted. All right, so I'm going to walk away from the sound for a minute because I can't mute it if it's going to be on Voyager 0, which is where I need it, all right? So what I needed is one secure computer. Just one. I needed one secure computer on which I could actually, oops, I just kind of hit that with my foot, but it didn't hurt. All right, one secure computer, and I needed one secure cell phone. That is literally all that I required after I've already been illegally muzzled in the state of Texas for how long? How long, everyone? Does anybody even know? That's the thing. For over 2 years. Over 2 years, they've been trying to cover this up, everyone, for over 2 years, and I'm not exaggerating at all. And that's the thing. To be honest with you, there's no way to do this testimony from a phone, sitting anywhere. I needed what? I actually did need this. I needed a microphone or two. I needed a secure computer. I needed some redundancy in connections. And I needed what? Well, a monitor actually, I actually did, y'all, which sucks because I had a couple and, you know, to be honest, I wanted to bring them with me, but I just didn't have the space. Monitors are not great for traveling, right? Because, you know, you can't really like put them anywhere, things bumping around. And so that's the thing. No one can say that I was fleeing from the state of Texas. Now, I found this just laying around the other day, which I thought was really cool. And so I'm going to read through this book more. My grandmother loves to play Scrabble. No one in my family besides myself has played Scrabble with her in years. Years. I'm not trying to shame them, y'all, but they're definitely trying to shame me. That's one way to say it. That's kind of more than a little bit frustrating. I'm not trying to shame them, but they're definitely trying to shame me. And the thing is, this star, for example, someone did their artwork on the front of this. And I can tell you right now, that was probably one of my nephews, yo. I don't think that there's anything wrong with doing artwork. I'll be honest. Please don't do it on, you know, essentially antique furniture. But, you know, is that the end of the world? No. Somebody ripped out this curtain, as I pointed out before. Like, quite badly, you know. Did anybody come up here and fix that? No. I mean, I want to emphasize there were so many spider webs and cobwebs. I did put this up, y'all, but before I put it up, I dusted all along these, and I vacuumed as well with my, you know, I don't always have it, but this is for my car alone, y'all, because I did lift, and I really wanted to keep it, you know, in between rides as much as possible. It was never a sketchy thing, right? This is where I slept last night, very consciously and intentionally, very much aware, okay? I realize, y'all, that's the thing. That quote I'll speak to more later, if anybody's familiar. So now we're taking Voyager 2 with us. Provide us some alternate angles, y'all, for our multi-stream. I want to emphasize a couple things, right? So why, one sec. Why did I point the camera sort of in that direction earlier, y'all? Okay, wait, alternate angle, all right, why? Well, it's a beautiful day, everyone. It's a beautiful day. There's my grandmother. She's probably just getting the mail. So in a minute, I might have to turn off in the kitchen here. And it's not that I'm hiding anything from her, y'all. I just don't want to record her without her consent. So, okay, that person pulling in. I'm not stalking them, y'all, but there's a lot of Air Force across the street here. Do they know that Dan Steiner is a criminal psychopath? Well, that's not for me to say, y'all, but, you know, technically people can play this recording game. Technically people can film like I'm oh, look, there's Voyager 2. I see him. There he is. And Voyager 2 is filming Voyager 1. Oh, my goodness. No, really, that's the problem, y'all. So you got Air Force people across the street. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't that concerned about the people over here. But the thing is, my grandmother keeps opening up the blinds, kind of, you know, I understand wanting some natural light, y'all. See, these folks, you know, I'm not saying they do. The kind lady that walked out the other day, you know, let me put Voyager 2 back away so I don't. Well, that's the thing, y'all. I'll keep the camera on, but the microphone off. Let me do this. I'm going to show this so you know I'm not recording my grandmother. All right, muted. Okay. Muzzled. Now I'm just going to sit and eat, but let me talk about this meal. This is all the food, basically. Yo, I'm starving. Our own government saved my life. Don't get me wrong. Our own government has allowed this situation to continue, though. DEA is recklessly and relentlessly out of control. They have victimized innocent Americans through hate crimes trying to frame me. And so, no, yo, I am not in any way, you know, quote, schizophrenic or suffering from psychosis. And part of what I'm going to have to recursively continue to explain is that it's not my personal opinion. This situation is completely and objectively unacceptable. This is a result of just one violent hate crime the DEA has committed. And what was this about? Well, I mean, look at where this tree, to let you know, I mean, it was this big old massive tree that leaned over this way quite a bit, and it was not dead at all. It had a few branches that were, you know, kind of a little bit older, y'all, but it was not even close to dead. It would have fallen this way. Physics, literally, like with a calculator, I could show you. It's like, okay, if it actually fell, like naturally, it would have been like, shh. And instead, what did I find out here immediately? Saw marks right there. straight up saw marks. It was cut to fall right here, right there, where the roof is all beat up and damaged. And why did everyone not want to get the insurance involved? Well, that's because any insurance person would have said immediately, that tree did not fall naturally. In fact, and that's just some natural that was already here, of course, when I got here, y'all. Natural, probably water damage, I believe. But that's the thing. Look at that. We need somebody to actually inspect this roof. And they were like, no, just pay Chuck Thompson, the man who committed that violent felony crime, $500 to literally collect the results of his dirty, violent hate crime, y'all. And he took his sweet time doing it, too. He really did. He took his sweet time. So, first of all, they wanted to potentially kill me with this tree. And then second of all, y'all, this trailer showed up randomly. I'll be honest, these people clearly hate me. I'm not trying to film them ever, y'all, but that's the thing. I've been out here just talking to this, not even knowing that they were out here. I mean it, y'all. I'm not even knowing that they were out here. Now, one time I faked being on the phone. That's kind of what I'm saying, y'all. It's like I'm actually not claiming like that. Well, I've had to use human intelligence techniques repeatedly to respond to this situation. And what I mean is that, yes, at times I've been on the phone for real, and people have been like, oh, you're not on the phone. It's like, no, I actually am on the phone. Like, what's wrong with you? And then other times, y'all, it's like, so you let me put it this way, y'all. You never get to decide when somebody's actually on the phone or when somebody's actually streaming, and you're kind of stupid, all of you, for thinking that, like, you ever had the option to do so. I really mean that. Now, I have not set foot in this shed, yo, at all. Not a single time. Not even set foot in there. When I was younger, like one time maybe I went in here with my grandfather, but I'm not even going to ever try to set foot in here, y'all, except for one thing now, which is, well, if I do, I have to live stream, because I need to make sure these people aren't planting shit and it's not mental illness. DEA. Chuck Thompson is DEA, and he's lied. See, Chuck had his, quote, guys come fix his cellar door, which is not even broken, right? This goes down to the crawl space underneath the house. I need to make sure they're not putting anything under there, not just equipment necessarily, y'all, but anything, quote, implicating, right? That's how these people have worked now for years. And so I appreciate that our government saved my life from our government. But at the same time, y'all, like, again, this is my family's left this. I cleaned up, the plastic pool is sitting out here for years and years and years. I never wanted to have to be public about any of this kind of stuff. So why are they going after, public resources to try to set up the exact same modern slavery about me? You know what we call that? We call it exactly what it is, y'all. That's called, communism. That is modern slavery and communism. You are illegally abusing public resources to produce a ridiculously illegal and defamatory, feed. If we're not even going to call it a, quote, show, whatever. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's the thing, Why did Texas DPS ever think that was okay in the first place? That is straight up psychotic. Nobody can ever make that legal or acceptable in any way. That is so torturous. That is so completely inhumane in every way, shape, and form. So I'm going to mute Voyager 1, and Voyager 2 is already muted as I eat, and you can just watch me eat the dog scraps that are available to me at the moment, while our own government allows me to be prevented from doing my own job, because Voyager 1 right here on this screen, this has NSO Group's Pegasus redeployed to it, and that's a felony crime, just to let everyone know. What did I say that I needed? I needed one secure computer. There's spyware deployed to this as well. I needed one secure cell phone. I need our government to actually address this situation when you're defending violent criminals in this one federal agency, y'all. I need us to actually address this. I'm being starved out to death. This is illegal and defamatory. They're abusing public resources with reckless abandon. They victimize innocent people. Every single moment we remain focused on me means pushing the real violent criminals back out into Texas. And I say beyond because, Chuck Thompson is a real violent criminal, everyone. He committed a violent felony hate crime. So for Delaware State Police to not place him under immediate arrest is yet another federal felony. And honestly, y'all, how you will be charged is not up to me. All I do is communicate peacefully as I have done this entire time. All I've ever done is communicate peacefully. So going on mute, just like some of you want me, but I'll be talking a lot more as I go, y'all. Eating my tiny dog scraps of a meal here. All right, so I do need to emphasize that part of the reason I've sat here during the day, especially, is because, for example, this guy that's walking his dog right now. I'm totally publicly. He's in public, right? Even though he's, I'm sitting in my grandmother's house, right there. He's giving me more than a few dirty looks, y'all. And like I said, I believe he's the homeowner, right? Really, I'm not, kidding or exaggerating when I say that I know that some of them are Air Force, I've seen, right? And so do they know? Do they know that I'm an innocent man and that this has been relentlessly illegal and criminal what has been done to me? It's not my job at the end of the day, yo, to make you actually obey the law, which is part of what is so terrible about, even if our government has saved my life, which they have, that's part of what is so objectively terrible about us allowing this to go this far. I'm not sure why my audio is not going through. Good old non-polluted tap water. Wow. What a luxury in the United States of America. Really, it's becoming more of a luxury commodity. More and more of a luxury commodity. And imagine that some people are actually, I'm always gentle with this, y'all, but this is why I open it, just to make sure it doesn't, pull it anymore. What a luxury commodity. Can we all agree? Just tap water, y'all. Wow. Wow. So luxurious. Now, a big part of what bothers me about this whole situation is that when it comes down to it, I am the type of person that will always be out there, supporting, a lot of folks, law enforcement, first responders, veterans, and you have an American through and through here. I'm not gonna sit and act like I'm waving some American flag as some, wave you away. What I'm saying is it's actually so terrible for us to sit and pretend like I could ever be someone capable of committing violent crime when a basic character evaluation from anyone who is actually being a professional asserts that that is simply not the case, everyone. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. And that's where it's like, at what point do we, right, the government had to save my life from the government. Okay, all you anti-government folks, well, if you were me, you would be way more, filled with, wow, what word should I use? Rage. You'd be so much more upset than I am right now. Look at that beautiful tree. I do, y'all. We have so much beautiful land. I love this country. I really mean it. We have so much beautiful land here, even though our porch has been destroyed, from a violent felony hate crime. Wow, that is the most serious type of felony in the United States of America. Just like the multiple felony hate crimes committed in the state of Texas. And I'm not claiming that for a moment. Everyone's going to have to, kind of be adults here, everyone, and remember that I'm an adult who has every right guaranteed to me by the U.S. Constitution, which you all, kind of tout quite frequently. And I'm not even saying wrongfully so, y'all. Why am I not saying, quote, rightfully so, as I have? I mean, to be honest with you, I think the difficult thing is that there's just nuance to a lot of the narratives. I am pro Second Amendment, but there is nuance to that statement because I'm not pro, giving people like Michael Brumback a firearm, particularly when he has a very verifiable history of severe mental health issues. And he actually does. That was never an opinion or a claim in any way. So I know some people might be, still clinging to anger towards me, but at what point do we realize that we are actually putting American lives, innocent American lives at risk because we're just ignoring basic, irrefutable objective truths? We do have satellite imagery that asserts my innocence. Do I need to say it that way, y'all? I don't speak for anyone. We do have satellite imagery that asserts my innocence. That's not some magic thing, though. Let me put it this way. The state of Texas has always had all of the data in the world asserting my innocence. And so, to the entire public of the state of Texas, anyone that watches my publications, you need to decide, are you in favor of victimizing more innocent Texans for the sake of culture wars and politics and defending, some folks that are veterans in a way? And Dan Steiner is a veteran, right? But he's a veteran that has committed relentless felony crime, abusing, he's retired. That's what's strange, y'all. But abusing every oath he ever took as someone that was a member of law enforcement, as someone that was a member of the Air Force. And really, it's like, okay, you put my character against Dan's and Dan loses. Do I need to put it that plainly? You put my character against Michael Brumback's and Michael loses. Do I need to put it that plainly? This was never a matter of subjective opinion for a moment. All right, I'm on the autism spectrum. My family can argue about that or play games about that. I never needed them technically to believe me. That's the whole point, y'all. I never needed their approval. Like, oh, yeah, no, we agree. No. Just like technically, y'all, I mean, really, if it's talk about getting a second opinion, in this case, anyone that was attached to a diagnosis of, quote, schizophrenia upon my life, they have no plausible deniability. Any social worker, any, quote, mental health care, professional, quote, professional, it's actually beyond ridiculous. Because there's a lack of education about technology. And on top of that, there's a lack of education about context when it comes to the reckless abuse of surveillance technologies by the DEA, but also so much more. And let me emphasize, y'all, because part of the social aspect of this has always been things like neighbors putting cameras up or keeping an eye out, quote, right? I always thought Steve was a good guy, my downstairs neighbor, y'all, but I mean, what was his, take on this, right? He's like, I'll be honest, I still think he's a good guy at the end of the day, y'all, but I'll address the nuance. I mean, he was a little bit racist, right? And he made some comments that were a little bit more than, inappropriate. And, well, did he hear me talking about that as you're, blasting, broadcasting everything that I was saying in that apartment? I don't know, because, well, the honest to God truth is, look how much you've lied. And that's the point, y'all. If you ever thought this was legal or acceptable, or like you had justification, you wouldn't have needed to lie about it. That's the honest to God truth. That is just an assertion that you all know that it was wrong. You all know that it was wrong, y'all. Honestly, if I had been able to get full medical documentation of my disabilities, I have multiple, then I would have already gone into the Army if they were still willing. I would have already, there's a number of jobs I would have taken, and that's what's so terrible, y'all. And even with disabilities, I'm still, extremely hardy and resilient. And here I am being starved out to death, partially because of the psychopathic lies of members of my own actual family. And all of you want to pretend like that is okay. And that is objectively not okay, everyone. How many different ways do I need to say it? And that's the thing, you're like, no, well, we need to see change. Well, okay, no, this is the issue, yo. You've played the same dumb games since, Texas. And that's the point. Never for a moment was it reasonable or legal. If you wanted to act like you were doing something moral, then you were not going to be broadcasting that. That was beyond illegal. That was beyond defamatory. Every single moment that was going on, every single moment, that is legally defined as psychological torture. And no one in this country or in this world is equipped, or, how do I say this? There is no argument of anything, against that, quite frankly, y'all. There's no argument to be made that was not always abundantly a ridiculous violation of our Constitution, constitutional law. Leaving that equipment in place in that apartment alone, Tia, the leasing agent, that shoved me in that place, y'all, the door frame being smashed and broken down. So one thing, I was like, when the microwave is broken, the place is never cleaned, the toilet still has shit in it, there's dust everywhere, the place looks like trash. But you know what? It's like an encampment. I'm just going to be here, like on the weekends. I spend so much time in the office. So, okay, I'll take it. All right, there we go. I'm like a workaholic at the time, Talk about, was I addicted to my job? No, that's actually what's terrible. They were just managing the entire environment terribly the entire time, underpaying me intentionally, underpaying me illegally, quite frankly, everyone. And that's what's so extra horrible about anybody being on the side of a Brian Karp or a Ryan Hoover, and they can fucking try to sue me for libel or defamation, but they've broken so many federal laws, everyone. So many federal laws, and they know it. And you've sat around playing the same dumb games, misattributing public resources to actually set up more illegal modern slavery. Slavery is not legal in the United States of America, everyone. It's like, no, it's not slavery. We're just psychopathically and illegally abusing you, trying to actually starve you out, prevent you from doing any job, and or kill you because we refuse to stop surveilling you with reckless abandon. Yo, what have I said? Anyone can surveil me that's being a real professional, but that means what? That means you're not broadcasting this. That means you're not broadcasting, and you have been broadcasting yet again. When you all knew for a fact, everyone, that I had been so relentlessly abused already. And just to let you know, there was no debate to be settled in the first place. So part of what I also wanted to do with Voyager, y'all, were fitness challenges. You understand? And all of this, I want to emphasize, all of this with forethought. Let me put it this way. I love being social, y'all. I really do. I'm a social person through and through, just like all of you. It's actually so terrible. Do I value my privacy? Yes. Well, let me emphasize this, y'all. You cannot be social when you are not even being allowed any moment of privacy in your life. You cannot just go hang out with your buddies. You cannot even call your own family members when every single word you speak is being stolen from you in real time as a result of felony espionage. Felony espionage. Frankly, for anyone in local law enforcement, this is one of the biggest frustrations I have, y'all. If you wanted to justify the use of these tools, then that's kind of the problem, y'all. You're taking this very real life case and you're proving that no. Oh my Lord, no, you cannot be trusted with them because look what you've done. You've decided to subject a human being. And I'm saying local law enforcement, social services, you have relentlessly abused your access so illegally. And it would be one thing, everyone, if you were not all already aware that this was real illegal modern slavery, but not one of you can claim that you did not know. That's the truth, everyone. And see, when I'm walking around right now, I'm not even trying to film. Do I need to turn this feed off? There we go. Just audio. There we go. And I'll turn the camera back on as I need it. But see, that's the thing, y'all. Look at this. I actually am doing a technical demo. Have I really written any code yet? No. But see, I don't have to prove anything to you, y'all. I'm beyond exhausted. That's what you don't care. That's what's so frustrating to me. Not one of you has behaved as if you have a single bit of humanity, let alone regard for the law. How in the world can any of you try to pretend for a moment like you think that this is okay? You can't, just to let you know. I said systematically I would prove and assert, quite frankly, that no, this was not ever legal. That yes, we freely allowed perjury. That no, there was never any debate to be settled. I said I would systematically prove. So for example, members of the Air Force, that's what I need you to understand. I realize that, quite frankly, the woman that I had an interaction with, that's the thing. No one's ever even informed me, y'all. That's not just despicably evil, okay? For you to sit around and terrorize me like, oh, but you're being a, quote, bad dad. Am I even a father? That's what's so evil, y'all. There's no confusion here. I'm just very publicly stating that I actually don't know because we're that evil in the state of Texas, apparently. Not one of you can ever go back in time and pretend like this was okay. If you're going to act like you're earning money, oh, not everything's about you, right? Not everything's about me. Then tell the truth, y'all. Don't allow perjury. Don't commit relentless federal felonies abusing my constitutionally guaranteed human rights. Not my constitutionally protected, although that's true, y'all. Guaranteed. Remember that term? Guaranteed. It's not an option. It's not a maybe. It's not if you feel like, your buddy, though, doesn't like him. Yeah, I heard he's a bad guy from some people that have been despicable towards him. Yeah, Yeah, no, I heard he's like a mean guy, like even though he's a good guy, he's a harmless little puppy dog that they have sat just abusing, kicking, torturing, using real torture techniques developed in the 60s, and not one of you can claim that that is not true. I have all of the evidence in the world. Including this. You understand, this is not just a violent felony hate crime. This is further evidence of the fact that DEA is attempting a real cover-up. Everyone, anyone that watches this later, to my 2 consensual viewers, thank you very much for joining. You are viewing right now. See, I can't see the chats. I will let you know. Probably a lot of chats. I'm not kidding. Somebody let me know very, politely that chats were not going through. This is called a multi-stream. So you can go to twitch.tv/Voyager0. It's a technical demo combined with my legal testimony, which now has to be public because our government, despite saving my life, has allowed this illegal, reckless abuse of my constitutionally guaranteed human rights to continue completely unfettered and unimpeded in every way. And it makes our country right now on the world stage, which this has always been, look quite literally despicable. I love this country. And that's what I'm so frustrated about, is that we have sat here torturing one of our own, a good man, after we freely allowed perjury and after the DEA had already relentlessly and illegally targeted someone who they knew was not just not a drug dealer, not just not a criminal. They knew better than anyone was a good person, which is why they tried to, quote, cook the case, is a colloquial term. They were committing real violent crimes trying to frame me, and then when they got caught the first few times, they decided to try to murder me. And yet, despite the fact that one of those times our government literally saved my life and witnessed that, which I deeply appreciate, my life being saved, I really do. What I'm trying to emphasize is that why would we allow this to continue? They're preventing me, as in the DEA and local authorities, from even doing my job. I would like to work from home. I'm more than happy to work in an office, but I have not received any bit of communication nor public disclosure of the fact that I can prove what I'm currently claiming myself without any backup. That's the problem, in a way. First of all, occasionally when I see a second viewer, I will address them. Because normally just one consensual viewer. Thank you very much to my 1 consensual viewer. I really mean it. One of the things that I want to say in general to anyone that watches this later, I am more than willing to raise my voice, and I have been, and you would too. In fact, you would be much, much, much angrier. I'm very conscious of the fact that, oh no, some people might hear that. See, we live in a day and age where it's like, oh, well, now you're just yelling. Oh, no, we've tried from the beginning. That's the problem. We have people like Debbie lying through her teeth like conscious fucking psychopaths. Straight up. And so many more. People like Miss Kelly, who could see that I'm a good guy and is just trying to ignore that objective reality. That's my point, everyone. No one is in any position to be uppity. No one is in any position to act like, no, you got to be more polite. Like, I've been more than polite. I've been more than gracious. And we continue with the same illegal, psychopathic abuse of my constitutionally guaranteed human rights. Not one of you is in any position to be claiming that perjury was not committed. Not one one of you is in any position to be saying I should not be outside, even where other people might hear me from a distance, yo. And I'm not saying I want them to, but, you know, maybe that's totally okay. That's my point, everyone. That's my point. People deserve to know. And we've abused that aspect this whole time. Like it's okay to covertly terrorize one human being in secret, sharing the exfiltration of the most violating, illegally violating, and exploitive data, like filming them naked in a bathroom for years. Which is why, for anyone who does not understand, I am now recording myself, of course, not naked, taking a shower and bathing, because to be honest with you, look how despicable. No matter that our government did save my life from our government, which I appreciate, that is exactly my point. Our government should never have had to save my life from our own government. So I'm not kidding right now, yo. It's not going to stop 24 hours a day, on and off when I can, right? Iterative. It's going to improve my quality, right? It's going to seem like a Casey Neistat video log, yo, of my life 24 hours a day. And I'm not trying to bring Casey Neistat into this, y'all. Trust me. You know, that's the thing about a situation like this. I don't expect anybody to have my back, quote. I don't expect anybody to understand. But I'm not asking anymore, y'all. We need to address this. In fact, I can really openly say what is wrong with any of you, all of you that can hear me right now. You have deep-seated mental health problems for letting this go this far. Acting like, no, just go live your life. No, just no. That's the problem, y'all. You've already proven you cannot be trusted with this feed that you decided to open up so illegally and abusively to begin with. None of you, not one of you is in any position to be like, oh, you sound mad. You'd be so much more frustrated than I am, yo. I'm not a violent person in any way, shape, or form. You are straight up psychopathic at this point. Unlike me, yo, you are an actual fucking psychopath. If you're hearing me, which you are, many of you, and you're trying to act like this is okay, state of Delaware, I don't want your money. You already owe me millions. You understand? By the law, you already owe me millions of dollars right now, and I don't want your money. I want you to obey the law. You're going to obey the law no matter what, everyone. No matter what happens, you're going to actually obey the law here. And you have repeatedly chosen, very consciously, not to do so thus far, which is completely unacceptable, just to let you know. Now, how about I use one of these tables, y'all? Kind of clean it off, but this would be perfect for inside. It might be better, actually, yeah. It's a little bit heavy, though. That's the only thing. I guess we'll test it compared to the stool. I'm making do with what I got, everybody. Really. Remember, I did bring one of these inside, just inside the door, yo. Just in case a Chuck Thompson comes up here and he knows exactly where I am, because you people, well, Chuck in particular, is a psychopath, yo. I didn't put this one here. I don't know who did, to be honest. I didn't pick one with a nail in it, yo, because I'm not some fucking gangster like the members of the DEA shooting people in drive-bys, like gangsters in the fucking family, acting like you're good church people when you're murdering innocent Texans and you're victimizing innocent people, trying to frame good Americans like me. That is something that not only the United States, the entire United States deserves to be aware of. That is something the entire world deserves to be aware of. Do I sound like I'm just some anxious little guy now, y'all? Do I sound like I just couldn't, put myself out there? What do you think changed? The water? Maybe not being relentlessly abused, even though I am still, but in a different way. Same old fucking story. Same old fucking criminal violation of my constitutionally protected and guaranteed human rights. And not one of you can ever go back in time. On the world stage, y'all, you look like the worst human beings on the face of the planet right now. Any one of you that's tried to say this was okay. I really had such, well, how do I put this best, y'all? I clearly had greater expectations for all of you, than any of you have for yourselves. That's what's so ridiculous, y'all. I'm not claiming you have no justification. You have no justification. I'm not claiming this has been illegal. This has been illegal. I'm not claiming my family has been abusive towards me. My family has been abusive towards me. There's no amount of argument or debate about that which could ever make this okay. Everyone. There's no voting out someone's constitutionally guaranteed human rights. And you need to get over your pride and your bigoted egos. The real professionals, y'all, they would never be doing this the way that you are so intentionally doing this. So let's go through a walk through the neighborhood, everybody. But let's get it set up before we do.